Hello and welcome, or even welcome back maybe, hopefully. Most likely welcome. Hi. Today, a very exciting project. I am actually going to take the Bush Queens out of the sketchbook and put one on canvas, finally. I thought, what better way to expand on the art of the Bush Queen than by using myself as the subject. Now, the reference photo that I have decided to paint, I'll show you. And you may be looking at this thinking, what the frick? First of all, I needed something that would justify becoming a Bush Queen. And I don't wear a lot of skirts and I don't chill in panties necessarily. So a bikini made all the sense in the world for me. I'll explain why I exist in a bikini in such a way in the voiceover. For now, let's prep our canvas. Yes! Okay, the canvas that I'm using is 8 by 10 inches, and I actually think I want to put a hard black line down the middle, just because I am representing myself twice opposed to two different people, so it would make sense to me if it was obvious that it was two separate pictures, I guess. I am also thinking that bubblegum pink, or just like a bright pink, is going to be the best option for this canvas. So I'm just going to do that really quick. Ta-da! A pink canvas, how exciting. All right, that's the easy part. Now comes the hard part. Sketching.
Hi, it's voiceover me. Oh my god, I missed you so much. Okay, so anyway, to transfer this image, I'm actually using a hack where you cover the back of your sketch paper in graphite, and then effectively that just makes it into transfer paper. So you just like scribble a thick layer of graphite all over. Then the sketch is on the back part. This is just the rear. So see, I colored on the back of this, and now I'm going over it again, pushing really, really hard to make all of those scribbles of graphite transfer over. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I just didn't want to go out and buy carbon paper, and this is just a feasible option. Just gonna check really quick to make sure it's working, and it is working. Yay! So really quickly, just gonna trace over that and transfer my images, and we'll be good. So now that both of the images are transferred, ta-da! Look at that. So exciting. Now we just have to paint them. The painting process of these is actually hilarious. So I do several few jump cuts here just because it is just a lot of like, look at that. That's terrifying. It's okay. I have a very pale skin. I'm like known for it. So it's not quite stark white. I noticed right away though that it absolutely looks like it is just absolutely pure blaring bright white against the pink canvas, but it is in fact an off-white skin tone. Thank you. So I am just gonna go through and paint this whole skin tone. You can just watch and listen to me explain why the photo that I chose to use as a reference as I Bush Queen myself is this weird bikini posing. So the story behind that is that a couple of years ago, well like 5 years ago now, I was a bikini competitor. And it just became a big part of my life to take pictures like this weekly usually and send them to my coach so that we could make adjustments to my plan. And even though I competed years ago, this was just something that I got so used to, and for some reason it always made me feel my most confident. And so I still do this regularly. This picture that I took as my reference was very recent, like a couple weeks back, and I still do this, one, because I am a nutrition and weight loss coach myself, and I use check-ins with my own clients, as well as post my own check-ins as sort of a message of accountability, but it's still just something that I really enjoy doing, and something that makes me feel very strong and powerful and confident and like a queen. So like I said before, I needed something that would allow for a bush to make sense, and bikini is just something that would make sense for that, and is something that, because of all of that fitness stuff, is something that I do pretty frequently. So for me, it really makes sense that my sort of caricature, Bush Queen Erin is represented in my my bikini and my bikini girl poses, because existing in that state has become a pretty big part of my personality, I must say. And I know that sounds very weird. It even feels a little bit weird to say, but there's just something about that part of it that I have really maintained and continues to be special for me just because of how it makes me feel. And Bush Queens are really all about just all different types of women just slaying, however that means for them, at any size and shape and color and lifestyle. I try and represent all of it, and this is just Erin Bush Queen. It's just a perfect representation of me. I think a lot of people over the years have come to see this side of me a lot. Like a lot. And again, I know that's probably like a weird thing if you're not familiar with bodybuilding or the fitness world. I actually have been trying to sort of separate myself from a lot of that world. I don't compete anymore. And even coaching has sort of become like a side gig for me. But the elements that I hold near and dear are really the feelings of confidence and strength that I developed over the course of that time, because it takes so much mental discipline and sacrifices, and you really have to be passionate about it. So even the fact that I still have all those positive feelings about it now as something that I am not fully devoted to really speaks a lot about how I feel about the sport and the lifestyle in general. Like I said, I'm still a coach, and so being healthy and being fit matter to me a lot, and that's why I continue to keep myself well and accountable. I even did a workout today, and I filmed it on TikTok just because every once in a while I post content about like, hey, I'm just moving because I don't feel good today. And that is a big part of it. It's not all about aesthetics. And in a way, this art project is kind of taking that sentiment in jest, because this is me standing and posing. It is literally all about aesthetics. And that's what visual art is, though. You look at it. So that's why I think it's kind of funny to sort of cartoonize myself in this way, because it is something that is so special to me and something that makes me feel so just like a boss and a badass. And as we all know, Bush Queens are just ridiculous, and they're so stupid and they're so silly. So it's kind of like melding worlds for me. It's actually a little bit profound now that I'm sitting here talking about it. Wow, what a full circle moment for me. Jeez, this is getting deep. So anyway, that's basically my explanation about why this bikini babe is appearing as my reference photo. It's because Bikini Babe Bush Queen is my alter ego. I will always, in some regard, consider myself a bikini girl, even though that part of my life is in the past now. I got so much out of it, and I just really hope that everyone has something like that makes them feel their strongest and their coolest and their most badassest. And I don't really care what it is, as long as it's not hurting anyone, obviously. But if you have something like that, then that's just so dope, and I'm so happy for you. And if you don't worry, but I encourage you to definitely try and find something, because the confidence that I feel just in general, but also when I'm doing something like this and I'm looking at my bikini girl self, is something that has taken me years to achieve, and it's something that you still have to actively work on every day. It's a lot like happiness in that sense. It's an active decision, and it takes active work to be positive and to be cheerful. Same with confidence too. You have to kind of look yourself in the mirror every day and say, I deserve to feel good about myself. I deserve to hold my head high, you know? And I really try and create silly little Bush Queens that absolutely feel that way, regardless of what they're doing. They all have just an F you if you're gonna stand in my way, I'm living my own life my way kind of an attitude about them. And it really just is what the Bush Queen brand is all about. So yeah, that's all very deep, isn't it? It's kind of very thoughtful. Anyway, once I got my first illustration finished, I'll say too, on the technical element of the painting, this is my first time doing one of these on a canvas, and it was very different just because mainly the texture of a canvas is very uneven and rough compared to a totally smooth sheet of paper. So that was a challenge for sure. And as you can see, I do the line work off camera. And another thing that I did a little bit differently was my hairstyle. I edited it so that you can actually see the bun on top of my head. In my reference photo, it was kind of just behind my head and it looks like I don't have hair. So I took some artistic liberty in giving Bush Queen me a visible updo, because that was actually something that I didn't like about that initial check-in photo. So yay, I fixed it. Speaking of artistic liberties, well, just not really actually changing the subject, but another thing that is actually I'm very thankful for is because I put a color behind the character on this canvas. All the times I went outside the lines, which, oh, trust me, it happened a lot. Like, the line work ends up covering some of those little screw-ups, but some of it needed to just be, Control-Alt-Deleted, which I was able to do with just putting down more pink over those mistakes. So, that worked out well because, yeah, this was actually kind of a stressful project. I wanted it to be good, you know? In retrospect, I kind of wish that the canvas was a little bit smaller, but it was fine for what I needed it to be. And yeah, so that was just one of the challenges. Like, these, I think I say it in every single video I make, Bush Queens are not perfect. That's not the point of them. Like, the awkward little feet that they all have, it gives them character, you know? They're not supposed to be perfect, but I did take advantage of the opportunity to clean up the edges a little bit. Like, obviously they're imperfect in a way that gives them character, but I don't need them looking sloppier than they have to. Okay, we're almost done with me number one. I just really have to finish the shoes, and I think that's it. Sorry for doing the line work off camera, but it is like hella stressful to do line art, and it is in fact the most important part. So I'm gonna finish the shoes, and then I guess we'll just start on other me. Yes, other me, or as I like to call it in relation to this project, the bane of my freaking existence. By far the hardest part of this was making both of these images of me look like the same person and not two different queens. Thankfully, like, as you can see, this face, I mean, I don't show it in the video, but I completely painted over it and started again. And by goodness gracious, did I ever struggle. But this is a good lesson in just keeping your head down, focusing, and not giving up, because I did fix it, and I actually think she looks exactly how I needed her to. So congrats to me. I'm adding the satisfying little highlights here to make my bikini and my lips look shiny and cute. And it is only now, as I am editing and recording the voiceover, that I realized that this painting isn't even finished because I forgot to give them my signature beauty spots on my face. I have 2 of them. They are very prominent, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those, and we'll have a look at the actually finished project. Thank you for watching.